Hello, my name is Robert Cappuccio. I'm the Director of Coaching for the Institute of Motion. This is a bowl of questions, and basically what I'm going to do is take a look at a few and answer them. So, let's get started. Let's take a look at this one. It's very exciting, actually, isn't it? Why can't I stick to an exercise or diet regimen? That's a big question, but a very good one. The reason why you cannot stick to a diet or exercise regimen is not because you lack discipline or willpower or character. Most likely, what people lack is a concrete decision and then the correct strategy. Let's imagine you come home at the end of a hard day's work, and what you really know you should have is a chicken salad, but what you reach for is Ben & Jerry's. And then you tell yourself, I'm so not disciplined, I always do this. How are you normally feeling? When most people do that, at the end of a long, hard day's work, they're feeling a certain emotional state and a certain emotional intensity that makes them reach for that Ben & Jerry's, not because they're engaging in an act of overeating, but self-medicating. So now you've had three factors to examine. One, what's the emotion, the intensity of the emotion, and the environment that leaves you most susceptible to going off plan. So now what you could do is restructure your environment, or when you start to feel anxiety at level 5, you go, okay, so I'm getting really close to being in a state where I know I'm going to be a different person than the resourceful version of me that makes better decisions. I'm going to carry a bag of almonds and I'm going to eat that. So before my blood sugar gets too low, I get some food in me that's a little bit of a better choice than the cheesecake. So bottom line is, sometimes it's not about having more discipline or willpower. It's about identifying exactly what the problem is and having a strategy that supports you rather than works against you. Let's see if we can find another really good question and mix it up a bit. Literally mix it up a bit. Let's see which one we can. How do I get faster results from my workouts? This is the question that everybody has on their mind, and this is also one of the most problematic questions you could ever ask. The reason why that's a dangerous question for a lot of people is because it forces us to engage in workouts that we're not ready for. So a lot of times people say, well, I'm so busy and I know I have this goal, but I want to get there faster. What do I do? So I'm going to take a look at someone who's like a professional athlete and I'll just do their program. The problem is they've been building that level of coordination over many years and decades, and you're going to jump into that level of programming. And not only is it so unsuited for you that you're predisposing yourself to injury, but a lot of times what people don't realize is it doesn't give you the results that you're looking for because your body cannot adapt to that properly. So rushing through something that has a certain physiological adaptation period required to get to a result sets you up for not only injuries, but subpar results in the long run. There are no shortcuts. Let's take a look at this one. It's very exciting, actually, isn't it? Suspenseful. This is a beautiful one. I'm sure you've probably been thinking about this, even if you didn't write it. How do I lead an active, healthy lifestyle when I'm already overworked? One of the things that drives me crazy is the assumption that people who have a health and fitness goal but don't engage in certain behaviors in order to achieve it are simply lazy. I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of people who struggle to achieve the health and fitness goals don't because they're so busy and so invested in their community and their work and their family already. They're the opposite of lazy. Just because you have a goal and there are certain behaviors to achieve it doesn't mean it has to be additive. In the beginning stages of change, it's not necessarily about doing more, but about doing things differently in a way that support your highest priorities. So here's an example. Let's say you're someone who says, oh God, I keep reading about getting more sleep. I couldn't possibly get to bed any earlier. In that case, what you'd be looking at is higher quality of sleep. So one thing you could do is at the end of the night, engage in activities that do not require screen time because the blue light from your screen interferes with your circadian rhythms and therefore your sleep cycle. So if you could say an hour before I go to bed at night, I'm not gonna look at any thing that is backlit. I'll read a book. I'll write down my to-do list for the next day. So I'll get prepared, but I'll do everything away from screen time. That by itself can enhance, if not the duration of your sleep, the quality of your sleep, which has extraordinary benefits for your physical, mental health, especially if your goal is weight loss. Sleep is one critical component. Based on the questions that we've received so far, one thing I've noticed is they're very common, and a lot of people have certain trepidations and uncertainties. That's normal. But here's what I'm going to leave you with. There are two types of motivation: push and pull. Push are things that you have to constantly motivate yourself to do and get yourself psyched up to do, where pull are things that are so innately rewarding in and of themselves that the nature of the activity compels you to participate in it because it feels good and it aligns with your values. Use Singapore as your gym. Think about it. You don't necessarily have to go and do a structured workout in the beginning. Just get into the habit of maybe taking your family to the park and engaging in physical activity that's rewarding. You could have an active health center that you can visit for the day and experiment with a couple of things there and think about what you enjoy doing just because it's physically rewarding. That's what I just want to leave you with, is identify where the payoff is in the process and how you can get a reward just for participation intrinsically. Because what you do daily determines who you become permanently. Aside from these questions, we want to hear your specific questions. So if there's something on your mind that you really want to have discussed or answered, write your questions in, and who knows, maybe they'll be answered on the next episode.